When it comes to commercial whaling, it's usually Japan that attracts criticism and controversy, but Iceland openly defies the International Whaling Commission's ban on hunting whales. But after years of protests and with its economy still recovering from the GFC, the country is weighing up if it needs whale watching tourists more than the income from whale meat.
Boatloads of tourists brave the chilly waters of the North Atlantic for a glimpse at an ocean giant. But tourists are also fueling another industry.
People go whale watching and then they eat whale meat afterwards and they love it,
Whale meat is sold as an Icelandic tradition, despite the fact that only about 3% of Icelanders regularly eat it.
There's no hormones, there's no diseases, and it's kind of like the purest meat you can get.
Local anti-whaling groups are now pressuring tourists to stop fueling the trade. And the hacktivist group Anonymous recently took down several Icelandic government websites in protest. But chefs and whalers defend the practice.
We are keeping the balance in the oceans. We have very good quotas in Iceland, both for fisheries and the whales, and we keep count of them, and we would never want to hunt the whale.
Both minke and fin whales are protected under the International Whaling Commission's moratorium on commercial whaling, a moratorium Iceland openly defies. Christian Loftsson is the biggest commercial whaler in the country.
I would describe myself as a conservationist because if you look in the English dictionary, the word conservation means conserve and utilise.
He's just announced fin whaling won't be going ahead this summer because of issues with his sole customer, Japan. But he's determined to continue next year and says Australia should reconsider its opposition.
The population is 30,000 plus, multiplying by 10% a year. So you could start whaling, take a couple of 100 whales in the beginning and freeze the meat and sell it, and I'm sure people will love it.
A spokesman for anti-whaling group Sea Shepherd dismissed those comments as offensive and said there'd be very few people in Australia who'd like to see a return of what they describe as a brutal regime. More than 180 whales were killed in Iceland last year. Lauren Day, ABC News, Iceland.